Hey everyone, it's your favorite black single mom here, Samantha, the millennial introvert. And today I want to talk about Nelly and Ashanti and their secret marriage. That's right. Ashanti and Nelly apparently are already married and actually got married 6 months ago. So let's get right into the story and then I'm going to offer my commentary afterwards. Ashanti and Nelly are married after giving each other a second shot at love. The couple announced to Essence in April that not only were they engaged, but they also were expecting their first child together 20 years after they first met. However, on June 19th, TMZ first reported that the two had already gotten hitched more than 6 months prior. According to St. Louis, Missouri public records reviewed by USA Today, the couple were legally married December 27, 2023. Before the news broke, Ashanti told Entertainment Tonight that they were still working out the details of the ceremony, but she knows, quote unquote, what month I want the wedding to take place after their baby is born. The baby singer told the outlet their engagement was such a beautiful and intimate moment. The way that it happened was just so funny. I'm sitting in bed watching TV with boxers on. It's not sexy, she said. I cried. I gave him the biggest hug and kiss ever. I was overjoyed and shocked and surprised and happy, kind of like all in one. Ashanti and Nelly had privately dated on and off for around a decade, according to Entertainment Tonight. After they were both nominated for four and later won Grammy Awards in 2003. In 2021, after the two reunited at Fat Joe and Ja Rule's Versus battle, DJ City gave Nelly Ashanti's phone number. After months of speculation about the Body on Me collaborators rekindling their romance, Nelly revealed in a September 2023 interview that he and the Foolish Singer were giving things another go. He said on the Philo show, Boss Moves with Rashida, that he and Ashanti were quote-unquote cool again. For her part, Ashanti made their relationship red carpet official at the 2023 MTV Video Music Awards in September by accessorizing her look with a clutch that had a photo of the couple printed on it. Never in a million years did I think we would be here, she told ET. 10 years ago, maybe yes, but after our breakup, I didn't even think we'd ever have a conversation again. So, what do y'all think about that? Like, why are they being secretive if they're already married? That is so weird, right? So, my guess is that I feel like they probably wanted to keep things under wraps because they wanted to wait until they could have like a beautiful wedding. And I feel like she doesn't want to have a wedding until she has the baby because, like usually celebrities, to be fair, they are out in the public eye, and most women I don't think would want to be pregnant like with a big stomach on their wedding day because these are the photos you're going to have forever, and you don't want a big belly on there. If anything, you want to be as slim and beautiful looking as possible. So based on this quote that she just said, hold on, where did it go? So she was talking about, she was saying, so they said before the news broke, Ashanti told ET that they were still working out the ceremony details, but she quote unquote knows what month I want the wedding to take place after their baby is born. So I feel like that's why they did not disclose that they were already married. But imagine my surprise when my sister sent this to me, that they're already married. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. But I'm not really surprised. I'm happy for them. And I just hope that they can make their marriage last, which I'm not going to lie, I don't see it lasting. But, they're doing what everybody wanted them to do. Get married before you have the baby. Don't have the baby out of wedlock. And they're just acting like everyone that wants her to marry Nelly, they're acting like that's going to make him stay faithful and keep them together forever till death do they part. And I just feel like that's not going to really happen. I don't see this relationship working. I wasn't ever really into Nelly or Ashanti, like their relationship like that. I do not think Nelly's attractive. I do not like his music. So I never really followed Nelly per se, but my sister loved Nelly. She gave me the tea on Nelly and how their relationship, Nelly and Ashanti's relationship was 10 years ago. And she said that Nelly was not faithful, didn't seem to want to commit to Ashanti like that, and that's probably what led to their breakup. I do not know. Haven't been able to confirm that. But I mean, we all know pretty much for the most part, black men do not like marriage. And then when you look at the industry that they're in, that they, function in, which is the music industry, is highly promiscuous, highly disloyal, high rates of infidelity. So I feel like she is signing up for something that is not going to be the fairy tale. It's not going to be traditional at all. And she's signing up for this just so that she can say she's married, just so she can have say, I got the ring. She's going to attach his last name to her like a slave. And, she's just doing that for show. But I feel like behind closed doors, it's going to be hell, just like all these other relationships that people put in our faces like it's something special. And then we later find out that the husband was cheating all over the place and just being like a whole nightmare, like Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert. Oh my gosh, like that was a total mess. Like I never could have imagined that Iman Shumpert would ever be jealous of Tiana Taylor because he's Iman Shumpert. But, the biggest hater is going to be your partner, your boyfriend, your husband, your fiance. And we've confirmed that and verified that. And we see that all the time now because nobody really talks about men being jealous of women, your boyfriend, your partner, significant other, or man being jealous of a woman. Just like they don't talk about white women being jealous of black women. Like there's just like some things no one talks about, but it's like a thing. And not only is it a thing, but it's detrimental to black women. But it's like pushed under the rug. And it's detrimental to black women because we are being typically like attacked behind closed doors. It's like an abusive relationship, but we're just basically being attacked like with the racism and the sexism and the misogyny, etc. And when we try to fight for ourselves, people like tell us like, okay, you're just being a hater or whatever. But the reality is that people are jealous of black women. Why shouldn't they be? I mean, look at us. We're amazing. We're talented. We're magical. We're everything. So of course people are jealous. They're just not going to say it on mainstream media anywhere. They're not going to come out in public and admit it. But we have so many examples of black men, our partners, and they don't even have to be black men, but we usually, black women are usually with black men. Our partners and, white women and women of no color, like other women who are non-black, are jealous of black women. And it's like, that's just human nature. And especially us being who we are, like we are incredible. And there were a lot of TikTok videos that came out of women who were not black saying that they are jealous of black women, and they were listing the reasons why. So I don't feel like this chemistry with the two of them. I think that what really came down to it, and I think the whole thing's been orchestrated like that, them meeting up like because just by chance at the Ja Rule Fat Joe versus battle thing. I think all of that was planned. I don't think it was by chance. I just feel like people want to give us a fairy tale like they've given us for the last 40 years, since we were bait children. Like they've been constantly feeding Disney to us. So I feel like these celebrities are continuing to feed Disney ideas to us and trying to make it seem like, oh, they just happened to run into each other and someone gave a number over to Nelly and now he called her up. Oh my gosh, that's so romantic. Even her story about how he proposed to her, I felt was tacky. I'm like, y'all dated like 100 years ago and you're back together. You would think he would have did something like way more romantic, like took her out to dinner at least and proposed there, or had like a surprise party and proposed in front of all her family and friends and their loved ones. Like something sweet, even if it was private, like a better story than I was sitting in the bed in some boxers that wasn't even cute and he proposed to me. And it's like, yeah, it feels like a shut up ring. I mean, it's like, okay, like you can't even like plan something. I mean, at least even if he did it that way, like she could have finished it. Like when then he took me out to dinner at this beautiful restaurant, 5-star restaurant or something. Like it was just like, no effort put into it whatsoever. And I feel like that's very telling. I feel like guys who actually want to marry their wife, or the woman, the girlfriend or whatever, I just feel like they put more effort into it. They want it to be special. They may have it put it on the jumbo screen at the baseball game, or they have a airplane flying, and they're like, "Hey, baby, look up," and it's saying like, "Will you marry me?" Like, just something like super romantic, because men know how to be romantic when they're with the woman they want to be with. They know how to be romantic. They pull out all the stops, and I just feel like the way that this has happened with Nelly and Ashanti, it's just been tacky, hush hush. People had fake outrage because she wasn't married to his ass. And I'm like, Ashanti's doing pretty well in her own right. So now we're going to have to worry about her having to split her money with Nelly and pay him some alimony. Y'all stop. But I just feel like he's going to be like taking half of her money, because I mean, black men be like coming up off black women. You all already know that with black people, everything is backwards. Of course, a lot of it is because of slavery or whatever. But how long are we going to blame that? I mean, black men could be doing so much better professionally and even personally, and they're choosing not to. So I just feel like, what is really in it for Ashanti? Because everybody's pushing her to get married to Nelly. Nelly has like how many kids? Y'all, let's go look it up, because I don't know. So yeah, Nelly has 5 kids, and Ashanti didn't have any kids, and she just had she has the one on the way. And it's just like, I don't want to attach myself to somebody with all that going on, because I'm looking at my finances, and it's just like, what is Ashanti really getting out of it, except to attach a male's name to her and basically lose her identity if she's going to put Nelly's name on her, which I really don't think she's going to do. But I wouldn't be surprised if she did, because she seems like she might be trying to have that fairy tale that is non-existent, and have that black love that is also non-existent. And so I feel like she is going to just do the most with all of this, but I just don't see the benefit for her when I look at it financially. And as a woman, we cannot afford to not look at the financial situation of it all. Because I'm going to tell you right now, like, men are not going to marry you if they don't think you're attractive, if they don't want to sleep with you, if they didn't want to have sex with you, if they didn't think that you would be a good mother, a good cook, a good maid, a good nanny, etc. They're not going to marry you. Men are very picky, and they actually are very logical, and they stand by what they want and what their quote unquote preference is. And they're going to go where they want to go to get what they want. They will do that. They will do the most to get exactly what's on their checklist. And meanwhile, you have typically black women, but just women in general, but especially black women, because we're determined to date and marry a dusty ass black guy, and they just usually are not even meeting the requirements of a husband. So we typically will try to shape and mold him into what we want this Prince Charming to be, when he's really a toad. And we'll be like, oh, well, he has potential, or, but he loves me though. Like, we'll just be making up stuff to like try to make this work. And women can't afford to do that, because the reality is women marry for money and financial security. Men marry for sex. Okay. So Nelly's getting what he wants, and he's probably going to be getting it more from everywhere else too. But what is Ashanti really getting out of it? Like, do you really think she's going to walk away richer than before she met Nelly? If anything, she's going to be poorer than before she met him. Like, I just feel like this is going to be another complete cluster muck of a marriage, like Jeannie Mai and Jeezy. And I just don't think it's going to last. There's something about marriage that, it just changes things. Like, you could be dating for like 20 years, like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, and then time you get married and you have that label, you're going to start to have problems, because marriage is just like an albatross around your neck. Like, it just burdens you as a woman. We already know that men get more benefits from being married. So being as a woman, it's like, great, now I have to cook and clean and do all this stuff and do the wifely duties. And I feel like when I got married, the first thing I thought about was like, now I'm not as desirable because he has me. You know, once guys have you and the chase is over, the challenge is no longer there, they do lose some interest because males like the chase. They are like predators and they like us to be their prey and they like the chase. And I remember just thinking, like, as a wife, now you have to try to be perfect because you don't want your husband having the wandering eye and looking around for something that's better because they always think the grass is greener somewhere else. And now that he has you, he's going to start taking you for granted almost immediately. And if he's not already doing it while you all are dating, and it's like now every other woman he's not married to is going to be who he's attracted to, like who he's going to be desiring because she's the challenge now. She's the one he can't have, whether it's because he's trying to be faithful and be a quote unquote good husband, or because she's just not his because she's probably got a boyfriend. Like it's just like this fantasy now of all the women around him that he should have or could have, but now he's married. And it makes it, to me, I think, even more enticing. That's why I think so many people cheat, because it's like almost like this forbidden fruit, like something you're not supposed to be doing. And I don't know why, but it's like human nature. When people tell you not to do something, now you need to do it even more. Now you need to prove them wrong, or it's a challenge now and you've got to conquer this. So I just don't see the benefit that Ashanti's going to get. I feel like when they get divorced, it's going to be messy as hell. And yeah, I give them about 1 or 2 years to make it. And I don't see it working. And I'm not trying to be like negative, but I wouldn't do it. Like, if I was in Ashanti's position with the money that she has on her in her own right, because I'm pretty sure Nelly made her sign a prenup. And she's probably too crazy to have made him sign a prenup because she's probably so desperate for marriage that she probably didn't have him sign anything. And I just feel like, is he going to be like a Jeezy trying to get custody of the baby and making her pay alimony and child support? You know, it's like now we're in these like chartering into dangerous territory here. Like, you know, like what, like, you know, really wonky waters. Like, I can't think of the word, but like just really bumpy road or waters that are very unpredictable. And I don't like to play with my odds when it comes to my money, when it comes to my livelihood. I don't like to charter into troubled waters, like when it comes to my money and my livelihood and my life that was peaceful and drama free, without some type of, you know, foolproof plan to fall back on. So anywho, I'm pretty sure their wedding is going to be beautiful if they make it down the aisle. I just feel like they just got married just to like say they got married and I didn't have a kid out of wedlock. I'm not a single baby mama. And you know what's so funny? Like, people were getting mad at Ashanti all over the place, and she was secretly like married the entire time. So it was like really interesting. We were flipping out like, you're gonna be a baby mama. Like, everyone acts like that's like the worst thing in the world. And I'm like, no, the worst thing in the world is to be married to a man who can't keep it in his pants. I'm telling you, like, oh my God, and a broke man. Ooh, Lord, like, you do not want him to be both broke and an adulterer. That ain't cute. That ain't cute. I mean, you want to talk about some heartache and some bad weight and decisions, and you just have a mental breakdown, and you name it is happening. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And not only that, usually when you have a guy who is your husband, they're typically going to be competing against you. So they're going to be getting in your way. He's usually not going to be elevating you or helping you get to where you have to go. He's now an obstacle, or like I said, an albatross around your neck, like a burden on your back that you got to carry around, the monkey on your back. And I just feel like it doesn't benefit black women, and it definitely doesn't benefit us to be with a black man. I remember when Shanti had a picture with a white guy and the internet like exploded. Like, the black males were so angry. And it's funny because like she wasn't even in a relationship with the guy, not that we know of, because Ashanti and Nelly are very secretive people. So I don't think she ever really explained it, or maybe she did, but she's like very always like hush hush or whatever, which I'm like, whatever. But people got really mad when they thought that she's with this white guy. And so I just feel like I feel like Ashanti is like a pick me. She just seems like she's trying to keep everybody happy and do these things that everyone's expecting, even though Nelly is not marriage material. Like, he's not that guy. I don't see husband material on him. I would never, ever like try to force my loved one to attach herself to someone like Nelly. Like, I just would never do it. I would not see it working. I feel like I would see a lot of misery of years for my loved one, and weight gain and drama, dick and dust. I can't. But anywho, that's my commentary on it. They're grown people, obviously. They're doing what they want to do. And if they like it, I love it. That's really all I can say. Like, I really don't know what. Oh my gosh. It's kind of like when you have a baby and the baby's not attractive and you'll be like, oh, the baby's so healthy. That baby's so healthy, honey. Like, you got to say something, right? You can't be negative. So God bless them and go on to be great and do what you do. I don't know what to say, but Nelly, I mean, Ashanti now has her, oh, his kids are so cute. Look at Nelly's kids. Oh. But Ashanti finally got her man, right? She got picked. Ashanti got picked. So everybody wanted Ashanti to attach herself to this like this guy that just cannot commit. And that's probably why no one knows they're married right now, because they're hiding it. But I feel like they're maybe hiding it just so they can have the wedding first and act like, because I think celebrities do that a lot, for just for privacy reasons. They're like, oh, we're gonna act like it, and plus I feel like they want to give the public the fairy tale that everyone's expecting. But I wish she could have maybe came up with a better story for her engagement if she won. Y'all stop. But if she won. If she wanted to give us this fairy tale, that engagement wasn't it. Okay, it was not it. So Nelly was with this woman for 7 years. And they said she's opening up December 14, 2021, why they broke up after 7 years together. So Nelly and his long time, because I'm like, maybe we can get some tea of like what Nelly's like, because I feel like his life is very under wraps, like a Jay-Z and a Beyonce. Like, he's just like got the best PR team in the game, So Nelly, his longtime girlfriend, Chantel Jackson, has called it quits. The couple dated for 7 years, and according to Chantel, the two are taking time apart to grow individually. During a recent interview on The Real, she explains things began to drift when she stopped going on the road with him. She says, so when we started our relationship, I was always on the road with him. Basically, she had to keep an eye on him before he go and jump into something else. Traveling out of the country, on concerts, all that good stuff. But then when it came to a point where I was home more often building my company, Shoe Gummy, or just working on my brand, and him being on the road, me being on the road less with him, we started to grow apart. Feels kind of flaky and shaky, because I'm like, him being on the road, if y'all are really in love and committed to each other and loyal and all that good stuff, faithful, him being on the road should not mess up anything. So like, that's weird. Like, okay, so he's not next to me 24/7. Now we're growing apart. That's so strange. And so she said it just became an issue with, what are we doing? What are we going to do? And he didn't marry her to make her feel any better either. Like, I feel like if he would have married her, she would at least felt more secure in their relationship, especially given the fact of who he is. He's in the rap industry, this highly promiscuous industry that promotes infidelity like crazy and cheating and sex. And, she probably did want that ring. I mean, 7 years is the 7-year itch. Everyone knows that. Whether you're married or not, people typically are going to like break up in 7 years. So, she said, we just had to come to the realization of, look, let's take this time and see if this split is going to bring it back full circle for us. And honestly, that's what we're doing. So they took this break, and now he's getting married to Ashanti. So when asked if the two were taking a break, including a splitting permanently, she explained, yeah, you can say that. A break, split, but I feel like it's important that we take the time to just do it. Yeah, he basically was cheating. So he's basically got something going on where people do not speak on his life. Maybe he's making people sign NDAs. I don't know, but yeah, she's not really telling the whole story. He's was probably sleeping with everything that moved while he was on the road because she wasn't there to like keep an eye on him. If you had to watch your man like that, that is not your man. That man is for the streets. So me personally, I feel like it's important for me because if our relationship is going to come back, it's going to come back. If this break is going to stop that, then it's kind of inevitable, if that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. She know that it wasn't going nowhere, and he's a cheater, and he wanted to go marry her, and it's a whole mess, and he wasn't about to commit to nobody. So yeah, so he's with Ashanti now. Let's see when he's gonna make this public and actually be proud to call Ashanti his woman. My sister was like, if that man don't claim her, I can't. I can't. So they said Nelly and Chantel Jackson split after 6 years together. As she admits, they're just friends. I think they just said 7 years, but whatever. This girl is 37 years old. I know she wasn't trying to split with somebody that she'd been with that long. She wanted a ring, okay? And he was not trying to marry her. Um, so she said Chantel broke the split news on her Instagram page. Nelly is giving me Common vibes. He is giving me Common vibes. Like he is not about to like be tied down to anyone. He's like a serial monogamist. Like I'm always in a relationship, but I'm always so picky that no one is ever really good enough for me to like commit to. And I feel like the only reason Ashanti got the ring was because she got pregnant, and she must have did something to like kind of threaten him in the behind the scenes to make him like just give her the shut the fuck up ring. Like just here you go, you're in the bed in boxers, looking crazy. I didn't plan anything because I really don't care. Here's the ring so you can shut up, okay? And they did follow through and actually got married, which I believe was probably another stipulation that Ashanti was putting on Nelly, more so than the other way around. My sister thinks that Nelly is the one that's telling her to keep it under wraps and not tell people they're married. I don't know, because I know there's like couples that literally, I remember Brandy a long time ago pretended she was married so it could look good to the public that she wasn't having a baby out of wedlock, and then it came out later that she never got married. And Janet Jackson, like there's a lot of celebrities that they'll either be like pretending to be married so it can look like they're not having kids out of wedlock, like who gives a fuck, and then or they will hide their entire marriage and you don't even know they're married until they're getting a divorce. Like Mariah Carey, the guy that she was with, they're talking about she's breaking up with him. And I'm like, what? Who is Mariah dating? Because I don't know who this person is. Like, why are we hearing about a breakup when we didn't even know there was a relationship? Okay, so an Instagram follower asked Chantel, "Are you and Nelly still together? I love seeing you guys together." And she answered, "No, we're not. Just friends. The model has not revealed the cause of the breakup." Yeah, they never do. He's a cheater. And he's not trying to really commit, like settle down with this like marriage. He wasn't trying to marry her, but he has another woman who's a mom of his kids, and he didn't marry her either. So in October, Nelly told Entertainment Tonight of their relationship. She's great. She's really dope. We have a great time, and we understand each other. Just nothing there for me when it comes to Nelly. I'm like, it's kind of like the Common. I don't know. I don't know if it's because they're light skinned, and I'm like usually into dark skinned guys, or just I'm just off black guys altogether. Like something about the energy, their vibe is just like ugh, like they're boring. I just get you're boring. You just love to have a woman on your arm because you're codependent as fuck, but you're boring. Like you're boring and you're non-committal, and you can't have a decent conversation that's going to keep me interested in you, and you have a wandering eye, and I just get bored thinking about the two of them. So he said, "I would not want my life to not have Chantel in it. We've been seeing each other for 5 or 6 years." And of course he would say that. Like if guys could keep you and all their other hoes, they gonna do it, okay? Like what guys are not gonna do is ever break up with you, because like why should they? They're having their cake and eating it too already. Like they have about 3 other relationships happening at the same time as you, and they got you at home cooking and cleaning and doing the most to try to keep him, like dressing sexy, whatever. And he's out there for the streets as well. So why would a guy break up with this woman? Because they always need a woman. Men always gonna be in a relationship. I don't care what they tell you. They got a woman somewhere hiding in the wings. She may not know that he's saying he's single, but he's saying he's single. So he's like, she's sweet, beautiful, and the more we got to know each other, she's just as beautiful inside. Let me see, what does she do for a living? Is she an Instagram model or something? So I feel like that's what she is. It's like him explaining her. It sounds like a comment. Like it sounds like something that Common would say about his significant other. Like, oh, she's just so sweet and beautiful, and we just get along. Like it's the most blasé, vanilla ass response ever in life. Like I am not convinced at all that this is the person they just are head over heels in love with. I'm just not convinced. So he said, anytime you can connect with somebody like that, it works out for the long run. But it didn't work out. So he said it works out for the long run, and of course, it did not work out. She's sweet, beautiful, and the more we got to know each other, she's just as beautiful inside. He said to potentially marry Chantel. We're working towards it. When we know, I'll tell you. The former couple reportedly got together in 2014 after being introduced through a mutual friend. In 2017, he credited their initial friendship as the foundation of their relationship, sharing being friends first, I think, is something important. I feel like you come into a situation that's genuine. I think some of my past relationships, I don't think everybody came into them genuinely. And when you don't come into them genuinely, sometimes it festers and sometimes you end relationships for the wrong reasons. But when you come in it genuinely and you enjoy just being around that person, that's important. He also said then of the early days of their relationship is dope, to have anybody in whatever it is that you're doing. What? He sound like he's like, it's just awesome to just have someone there. Like it could really be anyone, including a mannequin. Like it could just be anybody. I didn't get like she's any kind of special type vibes. To have the person that you love, the person that you F with come out and support you, that's all you want. That's all that anybody's looking for. Who talks about their person like that? The person you F with? Who is she? One of your boys? That's weird. Anyways, I feel like she is coming up off his celebrity and his fame, and he's just kind of like there. It's like boring, 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 boring. Yeah, this person said right here, see why the internet is full of people who have too much time on their hands. Too many posts about him not marrying her, etc., not doing enough, just to find out they were married all this time. LOL, idiots. This person said, remember, ladies, sometimes your man needs to cheat on you, leave you, get married, have kids, get divorced, have some scandals, and find his way back to you when you're in your 40s to marry you and settle down, okay? Like, period. They said, I think they both needed to mature because they seem so contented and happy the second time together. Like, they just radiate together now, and it's beautiful to see. I only got one like, but yeah, it's like, if you call it that, like, literally 1 foot in the grave, telling I'm ready to settle down now. Womp. Okay, so here they said, someone said, not rooting for them. I never forgot all the allegations made against him. And this got like a lot of likes, 26 likes. What were they? I'd never heard anything about him. Exactly. He's like so private. And those are the main ones you have to worry about, because Common is very private too. Like even when he breaks up with women, he always has this like vague reason, like why they broke up. I don't even know if Nelly mentioned the Chantel woman, like what happened there. It's like they're just very vague and coy and quiet and keeping things under wraps or whatever. And those are the ones you have to worry about. They be doing everything under the sun, like all men. And you just don't know how devious they are, because for some reason, everyone's keeping their secrets for them. But this person is saying, I'd never heard anything about him. Admittedly, I was pretty young when he was more famous. Even I wasn't super young, but I just didn't care about him. They were saying he was accused of sexual assault by numerous women. And so then I go into this article here, and they said in the lawsuit, 2 more women accused the rapper Nelly of sexual assault. This was January 25th, 2018. The rapper Nelly, oh great, is he gonna be like another R. Kelly, where it's like, we've been sounding the alarm for the past 20 years, and now he's finally like getting some jail time. So they said the rapper Nelly has been accused of sexual assault by 2 more women whose testimonies were included in a civil lawsuit filed by a woman who was suing him for sexual assault and defamation. The rapper who performed the hits Hot in Here and Ride With Me and was born Cornell Iral Haynes Jr. was arrested in Washington State in October over an allegation that he R-worded a woman on his tour bus. The woman was later identified as 21-year-old Monique Green, and Nelly denies allegations, like all abusers do. Not to say that he is one, but they all do. They lie very well, and they're charming, and they just lie. So criminal charges are not being pursued in this case, but NPR has obtained a copy of an amended civil lawsuit filed in the Superior Court of King County, Washington on January 22nd. In the suit, Green asked for a judge to prohibit Nelly from assaulting more women, in addition to asking for damages. The suit includes testimony from 2 anonymous women whom Nelly allegedly also sexually assaulted, and 2 separate incidents that took place in the UK, both before and after the alleged rape on his tour bus. Or grape on his tour bus. The stories demonstrate a pattern of assault, Green's lawyer alleges. Nelly and his lawyer have not yet issued a response to the new allegations. According to the suit, Jane Doe, number 1, a U.S. military service member stationed in the UK and described as a married woman with children, alleges that in June 2016, Nelly invited her and a friend to a secluded VIP area backstage, which you should never go to, after one of his shows in England. After some time, the woman says Nelly suddenly grabbed her leg and put his hand up her dress without her consent. She says she firmly removed his hand and attempted to leave with her friend. Nelly allegedly argued with her and repeatedly tried to prevent her from leaving. The woman says she ultimately did leave. And the second anonymous allegation, a woman identified as Jane Doe number 2 and a mother of 3, alleges that last December, she and a group of friends attended a Nelly show in Essex, England. She says that a meet and greet opportunity after his performance, Nelly invited her to his... is this the same event? Because I'm just like, he was on the prowl, wasn't he? Or what? So this is in 2016, and she said this was last December. Okay, so that was, I guess, the next year. So she and a group of friends attended a Nelly show in Essex, England. She says that a meet and greet opportunity after his performance, Nelly invited her to his dressing room twice. Her friends were allegedly prevented by a security guard from going along. Yeah, so he could do what he wanted. He had to isolate her. The woman says the second time they were secluded, Nelly dropped his pants and began masturbating, tried to pull off her top without her consent, and tried to kiss her repeatedly. The woman whom the suit notes is petite and stands 4'11", allegedly attempted to evade and refuse him multiple times. Ugh, gross. He also allegedly grabbed her hand and put it on his penis. I can definitely see that. When she again refused him, the suit says he made a fist and she asked him if he was going to hit her. He ain't that crazy, because if she got bruises, like, I'm taking this all the way to the bank. The woman says Nelly responded, "No, I'm just frustrated. I'm not used to not getting my way. Just do it." He then allegedly forced her down and shoved his penis in her mouth before she was able to twist out of his reach and scramble out of the room. Oh my goodness. This is awful. So the suit states that Jane Doe number 2 considered going to the police but felt that she would not be believed. Yep, most women are not going to report it, because especially if he's famous and has power, they're just like, I'm not going to be believed. But even if he doesn't, people just love to blame the women. Like, you shouldn't have worn that dress. You shouldn't have went in that room with him. You shouldn't have this. You shouldn't have. It's like, no. Last December, the prosecutor's office in King County issued a statement in the Monique Green case saying that it would not proceed with a criminal case against Nelly because on October 13th, Green informed prosecutors that she decided not to cooperate. So that basically does not mean that he's innocent. It just means that she didn't cooperate. She didn't show up. And that happens a lot because women just get scared, like Cassie. Domestic violence victims, they get afraid that the guy, especially if he's already like attacked her. I don't know why they still make, SA victims come out in the public and have to deal with their abuser and their attacker when we have technology now and you can just like have that court date remotely. You don't have to show up in the same courtroom and look at each other. Like, that's terrifying for a DV victim. It's asinine that they even require that. And I feel like they're only doing that because it's men who are running everything and they don't care about women. They just do not put our well-being in any kind of consideration of anything that they do, like our women's health, nothing. They don't care. Our safety, nothing. They don't care. So, of course, she decided to not cooperate because they were just going to probably drag her through the mud. He has more money. He's going to have better attorneys. And they were just going to go do their little investigating and find every dark, deep secret that has nothing to do with this and drag it out for the whole public to see. And she still has to go back to her regular life with no protection. So what woman would sign up for that? So this amended civil suit states that Green declined to cooperate with prosecutors because she felt she could not stand up against a celebrity and that the criminal system would fail her. Exactly. And it most likely would have. The suit also notes that the date Green declined to cooperate with prosecutors was the same day that actress Alyssa Milano began tweeting #MeToo and brought momentum to the anti-sexual assault movement. The suit includes details on Green's own accusations. Green says she attended a Nelly performance at a club in Auburn, Washington, where she was invited to a VIP area. So he has like, it seems like he has like a pattern, and I pay attention to patterns. And all these abusers have patterns. They're very predictable. Like narcissists are very predictable. I'm not saying he's a narcissist, but my narcissist, well, she's not really mine, but anyways, they're very, very predictable. And so it seemed all these women literally sharing the same story. She says Nelly suggested she and a friend accompany him to an after party, offering a ride since she had been drinking. According to Green, they, along with Nelly's entourage, were driven to the rapper's tour bus, which was located at a Walmart parking lot in Auburn, where the after party was taking place. It's taking place on your tour bus. Gross. And let me read this other part again because my throat was getting dry. But they said she says Nelly suggested she and a friend accompanying him to an after party, offering a ride since she had been drinking. According to Green, they, along with Nelly's entourage, were driven to the rapper's tour bus, which was located at a Walmart parking lot in Auburn, where the after party was taking place, which I think is very tacky. Green's friend decided to leave at that point while Green remained in Nelly's group. Once aboard the tour, she probably knew, like, this is going to be a whole hot mess. Once aboard the tour bus, Nelly allegedly took Green to his bedroom at the rear of the bus, closing the door and began masturbating in front of her. So, like, ew, he's doing it again. She says he proceeded to assault her after she refused to consent and forced her into both oral and penetrative sex, pleading with her to stay with him all weekend. After the alleged assault, Green says she screamed that she wanted to leave, and Nelly and his entourage pushed her off the bus, yelling at her. Green says that the rapper then threw $100. Oh my goodness. He threw money at her in the parking lot like she was a prostitute. That's crazy. Wow. And I believe every word, just like I believed Cassie, and any victim come out, I believe them. 9 times out of 10, they are telling the truth. She called both an Uber and 911 and waited for police to arrive to take a statement and transfer her to a hospital. So she literally called the cops, which is adding to me more validity to her claim of sexual assault. So Green's civil lawsuit includes pictures of her at a hospital the night of the alleged assault, as well as further information about her accusations and police involvement. The suit notes that Green completed a rape kit and showed signs of distress, and that police believed there was probable cause to arrest Nelly for second-degree rape. And you know he's not going to get arrested because women are not going to. You're like such an emotional wreck. You're not going to do what the system is forcing you to do to get this man arrested. Like, you should be able to use circumstantial evidence and the rape kit and other things to put your case together without me. Because, I mean, victims are just not going to be in that space to be doing that. They're afraid of their abuser, and emotionally, mentally, I mean, you're like literally trying to shut down. If anything, you're trying to forget it. Your mind is trying to forget it to keep you safe, to protect you, for self-preservation. It's like a coping mechanism. You're trying to suppress that event and completely forget it. The last thing you're about to do is go through an entire legal process to put this person behind bars. Like, and then in back of mind, knowing that you're probably not going to be successful because the game is rigged. Like, men are allowed to treat women like we're objects and property, and they're going to just do everything in the book to slander her, to make her look bad, which has nothing to do with what happened that night. She could have been a whole prostitute, but no means no. If she doesn't want to have sex with you, she doesn't want to have sex with you. So Green's suit also asserts that after information about the alleged rape became public, Nelly's lawyer, Scott Rosenblum, made statements to the website TMZ last October that constitutes intimidation of a witness. Ooh, yikes. At the time, Rosenblum said, "It does not surprise me that she wanted to have her story publicized. That is playbook 101 of a person with an agenda, and clearly she has one. The agenda is money, fame, and notoriety." They always say the same thing. Like, we never even heard about this girl, so apparently it was not her trying to get no fame. Hold on a second. Let me see what... Okay, so... because I couldn't find the information. I'm going to dig. Nelly is very systematic in how he keeps things under wraps. I don't have time for this, but it says this marks the second. So basically, they're saying that Nelly reached a settlement in UK in the sexual assault UK case. I cannot read. Nelly reaches settlement in a UK sexual assault case, report says. Police dropped an investigation of the allegations earlier this year. So they're just talking about like what they did, but they're not talking about what happened. Okay, so they dropped it for criminal charges because typically a victim is not going to move forward and do all the things that the system is forcing us to do in order to, and I'm putting myself in there because of course I'm a DV survivor, but they force you to do the most and you're just not going to be able to do that. You're going up against a man who usually has more power, you're already terrified of him, and the system does not have a great track record of doing women any kind of justice. So they just look at women. I'm not even going to get into it right now because I'm going to get triggered. So let me just finish this story. So they said Nelly has reached a settlement with a woman who alleged that the singer sexually assaulted her in 2017. So she filed a lawsuit about him dropping pants, masturbating, forcing her to do oral sex. The police dropped the investigation of the allegations because, of course, women are not going to move forward. So they said, according to TMZ, the terms of the settlement agreement are confidential. Sounding like Diddy. This marks the second sexual assault lawsuit that Nelly has faced and subsequently resolved out of court in the past 2 years. Oh my gosh. Wow. And this is who everybody is telling Ashanti she needs to attach herself to, is giving Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and like every other woman that has married a guy that's embarrassed them all over the place. This is awful. Because I'm sorry, a tiger does not change his stripes. And remember that the last woman he was with, Chantel, was saying that once she stopped going with him on his tours, things got weird. Like they kind of grew apart because he went back to his old ways, most likely. He went back to raping women and sexually assaulting women on his tour bus. This is crazy. So, wow, I did not know about this. Because like I said, I don't really like Nelly. I don't hate him, but I just don't like his music. I don't think he's attractive. So he's like a nothing burger to me. Like I've never literally ever really paid much attention to him. I'm literally only paying attention to him now because of Ashanti. And I have a lot of guys like that where it's like, I don't even know who that guy is. I don't care what he does. I don't know who he is. And I really only know he's alive because of his wife or his girlfriend that he's with. And typically the women are shining like always, and the males are there pulling him down, making him look bad. So anyways, in September 2018, he resolved a legal dispute with Monique Green, a University of Washington student who sued him for sexual assault and defamation. And they said prior to the lawsuit, which was filed at the end of 2017, a criminal case regarding Green's claims was dropped after Green refused to testify in court. And I mean, the way that I think that the burden of proof it's just more stringent when it comes to a criminal case versus a civil case. So I feel like that's why you see victims, DV victims and SA victims able to move forward more likely with a civil case versus a criminal case, because it's just like the burden of proof is not so high. The bar is not set so high that you have to try to jump over to get some justice. I think I'm not like 100% sure, but from what I've heard, I feel like it's a little bit easier to show your evidence and your statements and etc., your pictures, whatever you have, rape kit, etc., and to get justice. And you're not going to be getting cross-examined and dragged through the mud by the defendant and his attorney. So let me look up this a little bit more. Y'all know I like to dig. This woman, what is her name again? Monique. And every time, she wants fame or whatever. I don't even know who this woman is. So she apparently, literally, clearly, probably did not want no fame. They just say that to like basically discredit the victim. So here they have Nelly's lawyer, Scott Rosenblum, trying to say in the email that no money exchanged hands. But Green's lawyer, Karen Kohler, disputes that assertion, but says she couldn't comment specifically. Yep, this person said right here. So this thread said, can we talk about how Nelly has been accused of rape by multiple women? And this woman says right here, wasn't talking about boycotting, just haven't seen it brought up at all. It's weird how it's just been kind of brushed aside for Nelly. Yeah, it's like all his stuff is just kind of like hush hush. Like, what's going on there? Does he have his own little secret psycho entourage like Diddy? It's like they're just kind of like able to sweep stuff under the carpet. I feel like where there is smoke, there is fire. And I definitely feel like there's something there. He actually was arrested for the incident with Monique Green. The cops had enough evidence apparently to arrest him, and the only reason he wasn't uh, sent to prison or did any kind of had any kind of conviction is because she didn't cooperate, which usually happens. That's very common because they are usually intimidating the witness. He has the money, and they're guys be acting like thugs already, so he probably made her fear for her life if she would have moved forward with that case. They say he also tried to countersue her when she went and had a civil lawsuit. I guess he's trying to, intimidate her some more. It didn't work, and he actually ended up dropping his lawsuit, and her lawsuit was settled out of court. So, yeah, that's who everybody wants Ashanti to marry. Okay. And then as far as like one of the other sexual assault cases, I'm not in the UK, I think it was, he did say that he agreed that they did have consensual sex, or maybe it was with Monique Green. But he said they had consensual sex. And that's like something that they always say because they know that you're going to find evidence that, like, bodily fluids, if y'all know what I mean, DNA. And the males will usually say, oh, it was consensual. Like, that's how they cover it up. And it's just really difficult to prove that you've been raped. So they usually use that defense. Like, it was consensual. She wanted it or whatever. And that's triggering me as I say that. But there was some pretty interesting things that happened with that case, though, that they're not really talking about. And now we're in 2024 and everyone's like acting like this never happened. And it's just giving R. Kelly all over again. Like, it's like R. Kelly and Diddy, even Cosby. I mean, his accusers are like 100 years old. I mean, they really just are. It's a misogynistic industry. It's very like pro black man. And so it's almost like the fact that R. Kelly is serving time is just unreal to me. Like, I never thought that he would be held accountable. Even with Diddy, it's like, look how much has had to be done to finally make people really look at him differently. Like, they literally had to bring a video out of Cassie being beat up and thrown about in a hotel for people to believe her. And I mean, I'm like, didn't him settling within 24 hours, wasn't that proof enough? I mean, he wanted to shut her up. I didn't need a video. As a DV survivor, like, you just know when they're not lying. I know when women are not lying. Like, I just know. It's like the things they say, you literally are like reliving it. I believed Cassie with the lawsuit that she first came forward with, what it read. I believed her then. And everybody else was like, oh, she just wants money. She just wants fame. She knew what she was getting into. She didn't have a problem when she was with him. Yada, 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 yada. Women were jealous. Men were defending Diddy because they don't care about women anyway. They hate women. And I didn't care what nobody said. I was like, he did this. I'm sorry. He did. And then, lo and behold, he settles like 2 seconds later. It is like, even after he settles, everybody's just like acting like, you still got all the males. They're just so special. Like, they do not, let me not say that. They're just remedial. They're really ignorant and they just do not read the room. So they were still defending Diddy. And I'm like, he literally settled this lawsuit that Cassie came forward with, the civil lawsuit, under 24 hours. Like, that is the fastest settlement I have ever seen ever in life. And I think one journalist said that is the fastest settlement that's ever occurred in like American history. Like, I've never seen that. I've never seen anyone settle that fast, ever. Ever. I mean, he didn't want that case anywhere near a courtroom, anywhere, because he knew all the stuff that was going to come out. And people still rocked with Diddy, still defending him. All kinds of rappers and, big top people came out, all his fans, everyone defending him. And I was just like, you could just tell he's like that guy. You just know when guys are like that guy. You know the look. I've seen the look. Every DV survivor knows the look. of these abusers. And whew, it's hard to like go back there, but when the video dropped, I think all abusers everywhere felt vindicated with Cassie. Like, it's like, now you have to believe her. You literally are watching him throw her around like a rag doll and throwing things at her and chasing her and holding her captive, not letting her leave. All of that. All of that. Just like the woman in the UK lawsuit against Nelly saying that he was not letting her leave. Basically, what they call it something, I think they call it like kidnapping, or I cannot remember. It's not coming to me right now, but it's called something when they're holding you against your will. I have been there, getting in front of the door, not letting me leave, and being so much smaller than that man too, that abuser as well. I had just had babies, so I was very weak. I didn't even have like a lot of strength, and I was already smaller than him anyway. It's awful. The whole thing's awful, but yeah. So, anyways, congratulations, Ashanti. Ooh, I say that with I miss Wendy, y'all. I miss Wendy because I know she would have got the tea and been all up in the business and just really laid it all out there, because I feel like there's going to be some things that's going to come out, and this is giving like Megan Thee Stallion vibes. Like, I feel like if Nelly does anything with Ashanti, that's going to go, like anything, it's going to come out because she has the money. She has the notoriety to go against him with her attorneys. So I feel like we're going to find out a lot more about Nelly, and it's not going to be good. And I feel like she's going to go up against him, because even when celebrity women are well established, like they still don't really go up against the guy. Megan Thee Stallion was an anomaly, and that's why people just hated her, because it's like, how dare you go against these males that we revere and we adore and we worship. And people were like still mad at Megan Thee Stallion for like daring to go up against these guys that everyone worships. I'm like, whatever. I don't worship anybody but God. So miss me with it. And I love Megan Thee Stallion even more now because of her bravery and her courage to stand on her square and move forward with that case and say, this is what happened to me and it's not okay. I'm very proud of her. And, it's like a win for all DV survivors everywhere. These men are not above it. They are not above reproach. They are highly abusive. And the more that come down, the better, because this behavior has to stop. It's unacceptable, and it's been going on for way too long. So yeah. I'm not gonna wish bad on them. It's not good to wish bad on anyone because that's karma. You don't want to come back to you. But y'all know I'm just gonna come with the truth, and I just don't see them working. I'm actually like learned just more information now that I feel like even more nervous about Ashanti being with him, especially having a baby with him, because when you have a baby, it just makes you like more vulnerable, and now you're really like attached to this guy. Even if you break up, you still have to raise a child together. You see what's going on with Jeannie Mai and Jeezy. So you're going to be fighting and battling it out in court, like Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert over the custody of the kids, or he's not taking care of the kids or whatever. So this is I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. I don't know. I don't love it. I'm not celebrating either. And this is before I even know if he's a cheater, and I know he is. But I'm sorry, y'all, but all men cheat. Okay, like, I'm sorry. I have come to that conclusion that all men cheat. Okay, so you either ain't found out yet, or you did, and yeah, they all cheat. I'm sorry. They do not know how to keep it in their pants. And society doesn't help it because they act like, oh, it's your biology and you're just wired that way. And they give them a pat on the back for how many conquests they have, how many girls they bedded, and, a notch on the belt. Like, they have all the sayings. We are clearly just property here, put to be the benefit of the male. And I'm just going to barf. So let me know what y'all think about this story. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.